Okay, here's a story for you bad naughties. Santa's Christmas Journey. If you can get away because you're not home, no. Santa's Christmas Journey. This is the story of how once a year I fly around the world with 8 trusty reindeer and bring to each child in each house in each land a wrapped Christmas present delivered by hand. Of course, there are secrets that I cannot tell, like the typically marvelous magical spell that I cast when I order my reindeer to fly several hundreds of miles in the blink of an eye. Or the trick that I use when I make myself thin if the chimney's so small it's too tight to get in, and another if there is no chimney at all, when I squeeze through a keyhole and into a hall. And I can't tell you how I get zillions of toys from millions and millions of good girls and boys on just one little sleigh, but I'll tell you this much. As I load on each present, I squeeze it a touch, and presto, it shrinks to the size of a pea, so small that it's not always easy to see. And of course, as I pull each one out of the sack, with my next bit of magic, the right size comes back. Aren't these pictures beautiful? By the way, I expect you have probably guessed that of all of my magic, the trick that's the best is the way that I know just where all of you live and exactly what each of you wants me to give. My magic address book knows just where you are, and it knows if you've wished for a doll or a car. It remembers your brothers and sisters as well, though just how it works, I'm afraid I won't tell. Well, last year there were so many presents to bring, and one of the bells on our sleigh wouldn't ring, that we left the North Pole rather flustered and late, and we were still over Finland at 8:15. Ooh. Then Sweden and Norway and Denmark were slow as we searched for small villages hidden by snow. The Netherlands greeted our coming with rain. It was pouring in France. There were hailstorms in Spain. And although I had hoped to leave Europe by 7, we didn't reach England till nearly 11. You never can predict what's going to happen in Europe. We flew up the Thames, coming in from the west, checked the time by Big Ben, that's the clock I like best. Then right to my work. Into each London house I crept with my presence, as still as a mouse. I stopped at each hospital, inn, and hotel, and filled everyone's stocking swiftly and well. Then out of the city to Cornwall and Wales, to each waiting cottage, through snowstorms and gales. Northward to Scotland we flew like a feather, and found each farmhouse in spite of the weather. After Ireland we swooped to the rock of Gibraltar, and sailed on a wind to the island of Malta. Dave's been there. Over African jungles, Daddy's been there. The stars, softly gleaming, showed us animal families peacefully dreaming. By the time we hit Cape Town, Daddy was just there. The night air was hot. Did I need my fur coat? Why, most certainly not. I'd wear it anyway. Then across the Atlantic to raging Cape Horn, and up onto Rio at 2 in the morn. I know that the children asleep in Brazil would have left me hot coffee to keep out the chill. As we passed Puerto Rico, I reached in my sack to give my good reindeer their halfway round snack. We must build up our strength for our journey, I said. North America's next, and there's hard work ahead. Canada was first, and from Montreal west, we stopped at each housetop with never a rest, till at last in Vancouver we hurtled around and raced back to Toronto, in one mighty bound. Now on to the States. There were ice storms and frost, and a sackful of toys was very nearly lost. When it fell off the sleighs, we hit bumpy ground, coming in through the blizzard on Long Island Sound. Skyscrapers, houses, big families and small, we whirled around New York with surprises for all. Upstairs and downstairs I raced with my pack, while my good reindeer rested until I came back. Then southward we dashed, making many a call, though just north of Pittsburgh I took quite a fall. At 3 the moon rose in the east, which was lucky, for it lit our way over the hills of Kentucky. We whisked through Chicago and on to the west, crossed Nebraska and Utah with never a rest. Up and down California, then onward we flew. With the ocean beneath us, there was still much to do. All America's children were given their toys, all those millions of girls and those millions of boys. While at last we had finished, I waved them goodbye, including one smart little girl in Hawaii who had been rather naughty and not gone to sleep, but had opened one eye as I started to creep to her stocking. Now peeping's forbidden, you see, so with one magic word, it's known only to me, I sent her to sleep, making sure it would seem that her seeing me there had just been a nice dream. Look at her. So cute. Onward we raced. Now our speed was terrific. In 25 seconds we crossed the Pacific to New Guinea, New Zealand, and westward once more to arrive in Australia at 4:34. Out there, Christmas comes in the summer. So we parked our sleigh on the beach and cooled off in the sea. Next off to the north, through Hong Kong and Japan, then back across India and Afghanistan. Now at last, my brave reindeer were tired and worn as we flew up Arabia into the dawn. By the way, they're on the wrong day. I don't know what happened to that post-it. It's the wrong day. Merry Christmas, I called to the world as it lay, still peacefully dreaming on this Christmas day, and then I remembered one chore still to do. It wouldn't take more than a minute or two as I shook out my sack before heading back north. 50 toys which should not have been there tumbled forth. They were gifts I'd forgotten to leave in my hurry. It had happened before. There was no need to worry. With a wave and a whistle, I put it all right and sent each to its stocking in magical flight. So that is what happens on each Christmas Eve when we fly around the world. And I know you'll believe that when I get home and my reindeer are fed, I'll doze for a while before going to bed and think about millions of warm, happy faces awakening to presents in so many places. Merry Christmas, I chuckle, and be of good cheer. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next year. And I'll be reading this again to you if I'm still here. Love you.